Hello everyone, it's Friday, the last trading day of the week. How was the business? And my name is Sandra and I'm here to serve you business news. And to our first story, not an exciting one, of course. Managing Director of the Ghana Airport Company Limited, John Dichem Atefa, has been relieved of his position with immediate effect. John Atefa has been directed to hand over to his deputy, Yao Kwakwa, who is expected to act until a substantive appointment of a new managing director is made by government. Sheila Tameklo has more in this report.
The Deputy Managing Director of the Ghana Airports Company Limited is set to take over as the new acting Managing Director of the Ghana Airports Company Limited, following a request by the Ministry of Aviation to have the current MD, John Dichem Atefa, replaced. Kofi Adda is the Minister for Aviation, and he explains more.
Instructions have gone to the board for replacement of the Managing Director of the Ghana Airport Company. That has been done, or has been done by the Ghana Airports Company Board. And that's the process we're going through, and so replacement is going to be announced very soon on that front.
Okay. And what about the board? Is the board still intact, or that also has been dissolved?
I will not comment on that for now. Let's wait till we hear from them.
But what about the replacement? Do we have someone yet?
Well, for now, the acting MD is the Deputy Managing Director. He's going to be acting until substantive MD has been appointed. The discretion of the President. This appointment is based on what he sees fit for the nation. And I can be here, I can be out any moment. So that's left to the President to decide.
So as the story unfolds, we hope to keep you updated on what becomes of the board. Reporting for Joy Business, my name is Sheila Tamaklu.
So what more do we know about Mr. Atefa? Well, we know that he was appointed as Managing Director of the Ghana Airport Company Limited in March 2017 by President Akufo-Addo. He replaced Mr. Charles Asari in March 2017. Until his appointment, he was the Managing Director of Virtual Access Limited, a market research company. Mr. John Atefa served as the Chief Executive Officer of the National Petroleum Authority from 2005 to 2009. Some key achievements under his watch include the facilitation and completion of the Kotoka Terminal 3, which is known as a T3. 2 more domestic airlines were also introduced under his leadership, which is the Passion Air and Unity Airlines. And several other airlines, we understand, have also applied to join the domestic air transport market. He has been sacked actually to step aside as MD of the Ghana Airport Company Limited, effective January 18, 2009, which is actually today. Meanwhile, Minister of Aviation Kofi Adda is hinting of acquiring aircraft from Canadian manufacturer Bombardier to furnish fleets for the nation's home-based carrier. He disclosed this after a Canadian High Commission to Ghana paid him a courtesy call today.
With one of its headquarters in Canada, Bombardier is a leader in manufacturing of airspace technologies and aircrafts. Speaking to Joy Business following the courtesy call by the Canadian High Commissioner, Minister for Aviation Kofi Adda said the ministry may be acquiring some aircraft from the manufacturer for the home-based carrier.
Canada has a good track record and history of doing well in the aviation sector, particularly in the manufacturing of aircraft, the Bombardier plant in Toronto. That's why we're thinking we can acquire some aircraft to add on to the fleet of the home-based carrier that we're going to bring about very soon. They also have some potential credit facilities, such as export credit, that they could make available to us to be able to acquire the aircraft. And so in conferring with her, we're discussing those potential areas for collaboration.
Meanwhile, the Canadian High Commissioner to Ghana said they are willing to support in other services besides aircraft supply.
And we're very pleased already that we have Canadian Bombardier planes flying here in Ghana. Lots of potential for growth, including for Ghana's own airline. But beyond just the aircrafts itself, there's other strategies, including through data collection, through training, other services where we think that Canadian companies and our two governments working together can help to develop the aviation sector here in Ghana for mutual benefit.
Sheila Tamaklu for Joy Business.
In other news tonight, customers of Gold Coast Securities are demanding payments of their deposits or they will take on the institution. Customers say unsuccessful attempts since last year to access their funds is collapsing their businesses. They are partially aggrieved by management's silence on failure to pay them since last August, despite promising to do so. Prince Apia has more in the following report.
The government's latest banking sector reform have resulted in reducing the number of banks in the industry in a bid to strengthen the sector. But these measures, in a way, have brought some stress on some innocent customers of some of these banks, like GN Bank, now GN Savings and Loans. Customers of some of these banks are unable to retrieve their deposits or access their funds, a big worry to them.
Since August, anytime I go there, they told me there's no money. As I speak to you now, I'm traveling and I need the money to travel. They told me, when I went down in August, they told me to come on October. I went in October, they told me December. December to I came and they told me January, 2nd January, everything will be fine. And up to now, I've not even received one peso. Yesterday I went, I was crying, begging the manager that I need my money to travel. Up to now, I've not received a penny. Meanwhile, they are doing commercials on TV station. Yesterday, I was on a Hotel FM. They were doing commercials that the bank is operating. It's now from GM Bank to GM Service and Load. So now the bank is operating. Meanwhile, when you go there, you don't get your money.
All I want to tell Pacos is that, please, we need our money. We are begging you to pay us our money.
What do they tell you when you go to the bank?
Yeah, I went there yesterday and they tell us that they don't have money, so unless maybe March. But me, I can't wait till that month. So I really need my money. It's affecting my business because I really need money to buy goods.
Some teachers whose salaries are paid through GN Bank say their request for clearance letters to enable them change banks has been ignored.
And for a couple of months now, we've not been receiving our salaries. Even though government pays, GN will credit you and then they will take processing fee. But anytime you go there, they will tell you there's no money. Anytime you go, there's no money. Talk of November, the whole of November, they only gave me 200 Ghana from my branch, Kenya UST. From that time till now, we are still not getting anything from them. Anytime you go, they will tell you there's no money. Anytime you go, there's no money. I opened school on the 14th. Last week, I went there, begged them that I need something so it can transport me to my school. So date you go, they say there's no money. So I don't know if the bank is collapsing. They should let us know that it's collapsing so we will know what to do. Then,
amid the frustration, they still receive messages every month indicating their salary has hit their account, from which the bank continues to deduct service charges. Local managers of the company have declined comment on the issue. Prince Apia reporting.
All right, so GN Bank has actually, Savings and Loans, Amasi has actually refuted this allegation. They said that they have settled all their customers, but rather having issues with Gold Coast Security. So depositors with Gold Coast Security are what they are having issues with. Let's move on to other stories. And the Ghana Customs Division of the Ghana Revenue Authority has revoked the operating licenses of freight forwarding firm Fantega Company Limited. This follows an investigation by the GRA which revealed that the company falsified documents at the port of loading from China and to India, leading to that evaluation causing loss of revenue for the state. Ebenezer Sabote has more in this report.
In a circular issued in the dailies, the Ghana Revenue Authority indicated it has banned Vida Diganos, a freelance clearing agent, and Ni Ajay Soa, an employee of Fantega Company Limited, for allegedly facilitating the deal which led to under-evaluation at the Tema port. According to the GRA, the aforementioned persons will not be allowed to enter any customs facility at the port or transact business with the division. The GRA has also warned that its members who engage themselves in similar dealings will be dealt with accordingly. Let's hear from the Commissioner of the Customs, Isaac Renzel.
The special prosecutor is about to start his work. And definitely, when we find out that we and the freight forwarder and, of course, the transistor will hand over to the special prosecutor. We want them, and we are going to ensure that these things are carried forward.
The Commissioner is carrying out investigations on some other firms for onward prosecution. Ebenezer Sabute's report for Joy Business.
Next is our local summaries, and tonight, Tullow Oil said is expected to generate over 180,000 barrels of oil this year. Details in our summaries.
Tullow Oil is gearing up to drill 7 oil wells in the Jubilee and 10 oil fields this year. Managing Director Kwekwa Watchett stated the new wells will fetch it more proceeds than the $2 billion secured last year. With the activation of the new wells, Tullow expects to generate 180,000 barrels of oil a day, raising its overall gross oil production per 2019 production forecast. The Securities and Exchange Commission, SEC, says it is working with the Economic and Organized Crime Office, EOCO, and the Attorney General to speed up investigations into the operations of Men's Gold. It follows the dismissal of a suit filed against the SEC and Bank of Ghana by gold dealership firm Men's Gold to prevent the two institutions from investigating its operations. Blockham Industries, manufacturers of Bella Aqua mineral water, has dismissed a viral video on social media suggesting their product is unhealthy. The company says it wants the public to disregard such claims, stating that its products are certified by the Foods and Drugs Authority.
Thanks so much for your time with me, Sunrise Namapenu, on business. But when I return later, in about 30 minutes, we will be finding out if the naming and shame approach of loan defaulters is the best way to go. Investment analyst Charles Mensah will be joining me for a conversation. Plus, will you still invest in the wake of happenings in the financial sector? We'll get to hear from you on social media. See you in 30 minutes. Hello again, and time now to do more business. And PricewaterhouseCoopers has hinted of possible legal action to help recover outstanding loans secured from defunct UT and Capital banks. This was after the accounting firm published names of defaulters in the newspaper today. There's more in this report.
According to PricewaterhouseCoopers, this legal action could be considered only if they fail to pay their loans by the March 31 deadline. The move is part of measures to help recover loans set to be running into billions of Ghana cedis. However, a source close to PricewaterhouseCoopers says the amount of money recovered so far is now far more than the 400 million cedis that was put out last year. According to the company, it wants to work fast to recover these monies so it can settle all the creditors of these banks. Now, some of the big firms cited in the notice include Beige Group and Beige Village, CityLink, Imperial Homes, Sparrow Productions and Salt Pond Offshore Company. These firms owe the defunct UT Bank. The rest are Express Savings and Loans and First Bank Limited. PricewaterhouseCoopers has already started paying the severance packages of the defunct workers today. The monies are being paid through the account at GCB Bank. Pricewaterhouse was in 2017 appointed as joint receivers by Bank of Ghana to help recover the bad assets of defunct UT and Capital banks.
We still stay on this development, but is the naming and shame approach the best way to go? That was a question I posed to financial analyst Charles Mensah in an earlier interview.
Usually, if you're a liquidator or receiver, your main mandate is to try and recoup as much as you can from the total liability that you inherit. Now, in recouping that, sometimes maybe you have not even seen the company where they are. You've written to them a few times. They are not responding to those things. So on the basis of that, you publish. When you publish, for all intents and purposes, maybe the company itself, they didn't know that they are owing. Maybe somebody probably mistakenly used the name, maybe one of the directors, maybe one of the shareholders. So once it becomes a public information, public knowledge as in the dailies, people will pick up and be referring to each other and calling the person, oh, I've seen your name here. So there will be a way to react, to go and make sure that you've paid the liability.
Is that not in itself an indictment on the companies that are involved, like you're owing and everybody gets to know?
It isn't an indictment because you are owing. Look, it's a business that you run. Possibly you are owing. So it's not an indictment. If you see it as an indictment and you think that you are not owing, it will be a good point to go there and make good your name and then ask PwC to publish some retractions.
But at what point can we say that this debt, we can't take it anymore and that we should just write it off? Are these gone bad, and should UT and PricewaterhouseCoopers forget these monies because they have gone bad?
I think from the way they are going, they have to exhaust all avenues. And if they exhaust all avenues, including taking some of the customers to court to sell their properties, it's a whole motion. If all these things are exhausted and still you couldn't retrieve it, then you can decide that on the basis of that, look, there's nothing we can do. So we will write it off as a total liability. Don't forget that in this whole scheme of things, the government of Ghana, through the Ministry of Finance, immediately issued bond to represent the total amount. So anything that Pricewaterhouse will recoup goes to reduce that liability. And for Pricewaterhouse and the rest of the receivership, their mandate, theirs is to try and recoup as much as they can.
Meanwhile, workers of defunct UT and Capital banks have started receiving their severance packages effective today, January 18. It follows signing of a required legal document to allow the workers take the Bank of Ghana's first position for paying creditors of the defunct banks. But spokesperson of the banks, Raymond Adai-Dankwa, tells Joy Business not all the workers are excited by this payment plan.
No Capital Bank actually started giving loans to staff in 2016. So most of us did take the advantage of the situation and we pick loans, so personal loans and auto loans. And just after a year, it collapsed. So what it then means is our exit pay will go to offset our loans and still even owe.
Why didn't these issues come up during the negotiations so that it can be waived as well, or something done for you?
It was even the petition we sent to the president. And in all the petitions that we've sent around, we captured it in it. We're asking for either 50% or even a total waiver. Because, you know, customers were also given waiver on their principal loan amount. So we think since we are also special customers of these two banks, I think it will be in order if it was extended to us. But as it stands now, nobody is paying any interest on his or her loan, both UT and Capital Bank. Immediately after the final integration, interest was stopped.
All right, time now to go for some international news. And jailed ex-Nissan boss Carlos Ghosn is said to have received some $9 million in improper payments. We have the details in international news.
Nissan and Mitsubishi have said Carlos Ghosn received improper payment totaling $8.9 million from a joint venture between the car makers. The claim follows a joint investigation by the companies into the misconduct carried out by Mr. Ghosn. Mr. Ghosn, former chairman of both firms, has been detained since November on charges involving financial crimes. Ryanair has cut its profit forecast, blaming lower than expected airfares. The airline's chief executive, Michael O'Leary, said Ryanair could not rule out having to cut fares further. Fares are expected to fall 7% this winter. He said the low fares were already causing problems for rivals, including Flight, which was rescued last week. Netflix is quickly approaching 150 million subscribers. Netflix said on Thursday that it added nearly 9 million new paying subscribers during the final 3 months of 2018, beating its own expectations of 7.6 million new subscribers. The service now has 139 million subscribers globally. It expects to add another 8.9 million subscribers in the quarter that ends in March, the vast majority of which are expected to come from strong growth in its international markets.
So time now to check what's happening on social media. A lot has actually been happening on the investment scene in recent times, highlighting activities of scammers and Ponzi scheme. Some have actually said that these developments could affect the confidence in the financial sector. How true is this? Well, we sought the opinions of some of you on social media, and the question we asked was, in the wake of recent happenings, what would you still want to try some investment? So let's go for the results of that poll. And this is actually the question. I said, in the wake of the recent happenings, will you still want to try some investments? And the result says that this one is from Anand, and he says, if it's genuine, why not? Let's go to the next one from David Jot, and he said it depends on the type and nature of the said investments, considering how genuine it is and reasonable rates of returns. And so shouldn't we invest following these happenings? The genuine ones are still in business and operational. Then this one for Atanga Timothy, and he says, I'll still try, but we expect those who are paid with the taxpayers' money to ensure that questionable firms and institutions are closed down immediately and not the usual useless. Okay, that's quite harsh. The usual talk about we want them, but they didn't listen. Did we put them in office to be issuing warnings? Your job is to act, not warning. It has never been part of leadership responsibilities. And so that's for social media, and we've been asking on that. So get interactive with us on our various social media platforms and be part of our polls. Joy Business is the page, Joy Business GH on Facebook as well. Thanks so much for your time tonight on business. Thanks so much. We'll see you Monday for more business. My name is Sandra Esenam Apeno.